Good morning. According to the clock, it's 10:50, so it's still morning here in Albuquerque. This is Christianity on the Bottom Shelf, where what I try to do is I keep quoting J. Vernon McGee because it's such an apt phrase, an apt way to put it. I keep trying to put the cookies on the bottom shelf where everybody can reach them. And that's one reason you hear me sounding like a hick. I am a hick. I need the cookies on the bottom shelf. And I'm doing something that I don't recommend, but for these videos, it is workable. I'm just flipping through the Bible and looking for things I can make a video on. And I came here in the 43rd chapter of Isaiah to verse 25. I, even I, am the one who wipes out your transgressions for my own sake. Why does God save anyone? I wipe out your transgression for my own sake. We need to understand that God does not save us because of us. He did not create the world because of us. He did not form Adam and Eve in the garden because of us. He did not allow the fall because of us. He did not send the prophets rising up early and sending them because of us. He did not send his own son to live for 33 years as a human being, to suffer persecution and die on a cross because of us. He did not raise Jesus Christ from the dead because of us. And Jesus will not someday return in the clouds to bring his people openly to himself because of us. He does it for the sake of his great name. That's something that the American Christianity in 2023, generally speaking, does not grasp. The glory of God is paramount. The gospel isn't about us, it's about God, who, yes, saves us through the gospel, but the key is not saves us, it's God saves us. The key to understanding the entire universe, the entire world, the entire family you live in, whatever wide or narrow compass you want to give it, the key to understanding all that and how it is and why it is to understand you are not the center of the universe. You are not the center of creation. You are not the center of God's thoughts. He is. And that must be the case. God must always seek the greatest good, but he is the greatest good. God must always seek that which is most moral, but he is the definition of what is moral. God must always seek true justice, but he is the source of true justice. He must therefore always seek himself first by nature. It's right that it be that way. Should God seek the lesser instead of to himself? Shall the Creator guide himself according to the standards of the creature? Shall the created being be the standard by which the Creator functions? No, it would be absolutely insane. That's theological insanity to think such things, and yet we tend, because we're fallen, to think in exactly that way. God saved me because I did this, I did that, I walked down an aisle, I prayed the sinner's prayer, I repeated. No. You may have walked down an aisle, and you may have repeated canned words after the preacher, and you may have done this and that, and in that there may have been genuine faith, and you're saved not by prayers and walking, but by grace through faith, if you're saved at all. If there's no faith, all the rest is just hot air. But in that, God did not save you because you're such a wonderful and wise and spiritual and intelligent person that you believed. He gave you faith to believe, and He saved you upon the exercise of that faith because He is God and He chose to do it. Now, yes, we're getting into some deep doctrine here. We're talking predestination and the effectual calling and all these other things that come under the heading of the nickname Calvinism. And maybe at one point or another in these videos, I'll talk about Calvinism and Arminianism, but Christianity on the bottom shelf. And so I simply want you to understand what God Himself says here. I am the one who wiped out your transgressions for my own sake. And that should lead us not to rebel against the God who takes the glory for Himself. It should lead us not to puff ourselves up and say, well, I'm saved because I did this. It should lead us to bow down before such an almighty God who yet takes note of such unworthy and wicked people as ourselves. Knowing that He saves us for His sake, for His glory, should lead us to worship Him and glorify Him